Hello fans and followers, here I am again for episode 5 of Walking Thoughts, and you may have noticed there was no episode yesterday. We had a little bit of rain yesterday, and I thought earlier in the day maybe I should get out and do a walk early, but I didn't, and then it was raining most of the evening, and it just got too late to go out, and so no walk yesterday. But I'm back on the road today. I'm going to try to complete my entire old route that I used to do when I was walking and jogging regularly. It's actually basically a 5K. I suspect this whole walk's going to take me about an hour tonight, but as long, I'm not going to try to do any jogging unless I have to jog across the street to avoid a car. But back on the street, just so you know, I did weigh this morning, and I believe I gave my weight in the episode 1, but if not, that's okay. I have lost 1 pound since last Sunday, and not normal for me actually to only lose 1 pound the week I start trying to lose weight, but I was on the road and still not eating probably properly for weight loss. So that should get better as time goes. You notice I'm already breathing hard. It's because when I leave my house, my very first stretch is an uphill. So it gets my breathing going pretty good right at the beginning, and then I have a nice downhill for a good chunk. And then it's a more gradual uphill on the way back to the house. So hopefully when I come back and give you whatever I decide to talk about tonight, I won't be breathing quite so hard. As I was walking, I remembered that today, the day of the walk, not the day this is going to go up on YouTube, but today is my wedding anniversary. My wife and I have been married today for 23 years, and it appears in our culture that makes us somewhat rare. And I know there's people who stay married longer than that. My parents managed to celebrate their 50th anniversary before my dad passed away. But in our society, so much marriage is just seen as disposable. And that's something that blows my mind, because even for people who aren't Christians, who don't have faith, the idea that you would commit to someone, make a promise to someone that you will stay married till death do us part, and then 7 years, 3 years, a month later, you decide, you know what, we don't need to stay married anymore, and divorce is an easy option. So many people just give up on their marriages. And I can guarantee you, in 23 years, my wife has been fed up with me. I'm not the easiest person in the world to live with. I'm kind of a smart aleck. I'm a literalist at times. Because of my training as an attorney, I often have difficulty communicating with people because I seek precision in language and questions and answers that most people just don't. They just don't think about it. It's not that they're not capable. It's just not part of their profession, so they don't worry about it that much. And so that can be very frustrating for my wife. I know it is. She's told me it is. But she's never once considered filing for divorce and leaving. And I've never even entertained the thought of leaving her. And I guess I understand there are sometimes really bad situations. Even the church, historically, the Christian church has taught there are valid reasons for divorce. The obvious one that's listed in Scripture is adultery. But the church has generally accepted 3 reasons that make a divorce valid or okay, that's such that it would not be a sin or violating God's law to seek one. One is adultery, another is abuse, and the third is abandonment. And I don't know what the statistics are for the incidence of any of those three. Adultery and abuse are probably more common than true abandonment, but I know people who've gotten divorced when there was no adultery, and there was no abuse, at least not physical abuse, and to my knowledge, not emotional or mental abuse either. And again, let me clarify, I have friends who have separated and or gotten divorced when there was adultery or abuse. And I'm not downplaying that. But that's not what I'm really talking about today. Our culture needs families. Sometimes you'll hear that said as children need fathers, and I'm not discounting that. But more than that, the nuclear family, two parents staying together long term, does so much to help the stability and the success of the next generation. It's no guarantee, and there are plenty of people who were raised by single parents who go on to do great things, but there's just no denying that the plan of a married couple getting married, having kids, teaching those kids, and staying married for life, it just makes things better. And I don't think there's really any way that anyone could really deny that. So I encourage you, if you are married, stay married. If you're thinking about getting married, you should go into that marriage with the idea that divorce is not an option. And so that the petty little problems, he's not nice to me, she doesn't pay as much attention to me now as she did before we got married, or any of the other little petty issues. I'm not talking about adultery, abuse, or abandonment, but the petty issues that lead to divorce all the time, or I'm just not in love with him anymore. I've met this other woman and she makes me feel more special than my wife does. Those things are not good reasons to break your promise. And so I ask you, if you're married and you're contemplating divorce, unless it's one of the three, adultery, abuse, or abandonment, to rethink it. Fight for your marriage. Rekindle your love however you need to. Also, side note that could take another whole video is, love is not a feeling. Love is a decision. The "I fell out of love with her" excuse is garbage, and I don't accept it. You choose to love the one you're with, and that's what you need to do to sustain your marriage. I'll be back at the end of the walk with the workout summary. The workout summary for today: I walked 3.13 miles in 53 minutes and 26 seconds, and I burned 478 calories. Getting back up there, getting my workouts a little bit longer, a little bit further. And I'll leave you with this thought: especially if you're married, don't be a jerk. Good night.